So when you're removing it, try to remove it from the edges inward. That's looking so good. I wanna say this is like top 3 cakes that I've ever made in my entire life. In celebration for the Minecraft movie release, I thought it would be really fun to do a Quake and Bake, bringing it back old school. But after watching the Minecraft movie, I felt inspired to make a creeper cake. So this idea actually came from a prop that I saw at the Minecraft experience. It was a little creeper bush, but I loved how the creeper was made of grass and had like little clovers in it, and the creeper in the movie was actually made of grass as well. And all the creeper cakes that I have seen have always just been the original cubey blocky creeper. And I mean, that's cool and all, but I want a little more of a sophisticated Minecraft cake, you know, because since playing the game, 15 years have passed. And it would be kind of weird for an adult to have just a Minecraft creeper cake. So let's make it a little more sophisticated. So for the actual cake, I found this recipe online. I have linked it for you so you can follow it yourself, but this is the second time I've actually made this cake. It was my birthday cake and it was so light and fluffy and delicious, and it's a funfetti cake, which I feel like should be a feature of the creepers that you could toggle on and off. Instead of having them explode, they should just explode with confetti, right? Somebody make a mod of that. Now, since I was gonna do some decorating on the top of the cake, I wanted to have the most surface area for me to make a creeper face. So I am using an 8-inch square cake pan for these cakes, and we're gonna double layer it. For the filling and icing, I'm gonna be using a light and creamy buttercream recipe that I also found online. That will also be linked in the description for you. I've already layered and crumb coated my cake, put it in the fridge to chill so it's nice and ready for us to decorate. Now, before I start decorating the actual cake, I thought it would be easy for us to decorate some of the flowers prior so that they could chill in the fridge. I've already got some of my frosting colored and I have some separated. And then we're gonna use this little guy whose name I don't actually know, but you use it to decorate and pipe things. It's been a long time since I've done something like this. So I thought it'd be fun for us to prep some green clovers, different variations of green flowers. And then I also want to throw in some iconic classic Minecraft flowers. We're gonna do the poppy, the dandelion, and the daisy. And maybe we'll sprinkle in some other ones depending on how I'm feeling. Okay, I got my colors mixed and ready to go. We have a dark green, a light green, a red, a yellow, and a white. And I'll probably be making more colors for the actual cake, but this is just for like the florals and little decorative pieces. I'm so excited. I love piping flowers. All right, I think I'm gonna start off with some of the light greens. So I'm just gonna put a little dollop down here. Okay, I don't really know what kind of leaf I'm making. We're just gonna try and make it look leafy. Oh, that's cute. It's kind of looking like a little clover so far. That's cute. I'll probably put like a little dollop of green in there in the center. I'm liking it. It's our first little leaf. And then we just move it onto this guy and we'll chill it in the fridge. All right, so I'm just gonna make a bunch of these just so we can have them. And I feel like I'm gonna get faster and better. It's like the perfect day to do this as well. Spring is here, the birds are chirping. It's a nice sunny day. The vibes are immaculate. Okay, I wanna try some variation of leaves with a different tip. I didn't say what this one was before. This one is a 104, and then the dark green one is a leaf tip, 352. And if I can remember correctly, I think I literally just, well, that's a cute little leaf. I like that. I could probably just pipe those ones directly onto the cake. Those ones aren't too difficult, but let's try a bigger one. Okay, so I'm gonna like hold it a little more. Cute. I feel like these leaf ones are really easy to do, so I'm just gonna do those directly onto the cake. Before, though, I think I wanna do some with the other tip in this color. We got a two-tone leaf. So pretty. I think what I also really love about piping florals and flowers and leaves is because you don't really know what you're gonna get until you do it. You know, it's just like Bob Ross has happy little trees. We get happy little flowers. Beautiful little flowers. Okay, I wanna move on to some flowers. Let's do some red poppies. I'm just doing the same technique. Technically, I don't know how many leaves poppies have, but that's cute. And then for the center, I'm just gonna grab my yellow, and this one is a 18 tip. Just plop, put that right in there. That's so cute. I love it. We'll just call that a poppy. Okay, now I'm gonna attempt to do a dandelion. I don't know if this is correct, but for the yellow, I'm gonna be using an 81 tip. Kind of has like a little U shape. I draw a circle like this. The little dandelion petals could come out like that. Dandelions are pretty round, so I'm just gonna put some of this to be the base and kind of elevate it. We're just winging it here. We're just going. So I'm gonna add more petals. When in doubt, just add more petals. Oh my gosh, it's actually looking like a dandelion. That's so pretty. Wait. It really looks like a dandelion. I love it. It's my first one. Okay, we're gonna do a couple more. I think I'm gonna get better as we go. That is so fun. I'm gonna put these in the fridge to chill though, so they hold their structure. We got 2 rows, and if you're wondering what I'm using here, this is actually like a cookie storage. It's very handy for this. Okay, so I got our cake out. I made a couple different greens and I put them into one piping bag with a number 233 grass tip. I also made some black. So first, we're gonna use the black. Now the creeper face is gonna be directly on top of our cake. If you are making this at home, most definitely use a template. But I am not going to use a template for the creeper face because I have training in art skills. So let's put them to the test. It's a pretty simple creeper face. What I'm going to do is use a little piece of parchment paper to kind of get the eyes where I want them to be and to make sure that they're the correct size. Okay, so I got my little square here. I am just going to, with a toothpick, draw where I'm gonna be cutting. This is gonna be a little bit bigger because the actual piece of parchment is the size that I want it to be. And since we're gonna put grass, like grass and stuff coming out from the inside, it's gonna look a little bit smaller. Okay, so we got one. Then I'm just gonna measure that out there, place it right here. Make sure I like the placement, which I do, and roughly draw it out. Then I'll use the same piece of paper to make the nose. So we're gonna cut out this guy right here, and it's only half the length of the square. So we'll go up to here. Then as a guide, I'm just gonna use it, and we're gonna go half the length of the square. There, about halfway where the eyes are, and then it's gonna come straight down. Okay, so the picture that I originally saw, the mouth doesn't go all the way to the bottom. So I'm gonna keep it true and we'll just leave a little bit of space. True to the original inspiration that I got for this cake. Okay, once we're happy with the placement, I'm gonna grab a sharp knife and we're gonna cut into the cake. And I'm probably gonna go the depth of one whole cake, which is why I wanted to do a double layer cake. I'm going to attempt to cut out a perfectly good little cube here. And for depth wise, I'm kind of using the knife as a guide. You can see that's how deep we're going, which is approximately one level or one layer of cake. Now with this, you don't really have to be perfect because we are going to fill it in. So if you make a mistake or if your knife is pulling up any of the frosting, do not worry. Because we're gonna be piping grass all over this thing, it's not gonna show. Now for the really tricky part is getting those pieces out. So I'm gonna figure this out with you here. There we go. Kind of getting it out there. So when you're removing it, try to remove it from the edges inward so we could try to keep the structure of what we just cut into. You wanna remove it till you see the second layer of the cake. And I think when you do this, you want to make sure that your cake is chilled. I could see it being a lot harder if it wasn't chilled. So now that you somewhat have the shape of a creeper face, and hopefully most of your edges are intact, I did lose a little bit here, but that's okay. We are going to grab our black, which I'm probably gonna need more of, and we're gonna fill in the bottom and the edges with the black icing. I feel like I'll probably have to pipe in the bottom, which I might actually do that with like a dark green. So I'm just gonna do the edges right now. That looks great. Totally easier if you have a little table to spin. Okay, now that we have all the black inside, it's time to pipe our green. So I think the easiest way to do this would be to start from the inside and work our way out. So let's start around the edges of the eyes, just so we make sure that we don't have any of the cake showing. So I'm gonna kind of put it like this. And just let it kind of like fall into the cake. Now I added 2 different types of greens inside of this on each side of the piping bag, so I can hopefully get like a different types of gradient within the grass, so it's not just like one shade of green. We'll see if I actually did that correctly. That's looking so good. All right, other eye. I see some of the darker green coming in, so this makes me very happy. I like this tip because you don't have to be perfect. The grass just kind of falls and does its own thing. All right, let's get around the nose and mouth. So this is my first time using this type of tip, and you kind of want to squeeze it and lift and release pressure if you've never used this tip before, and then you kind of just let it do its thing. It's really easy to use. I'm just realizing that I didn't talk about the colors. If you guys wanted to recreate this, I got these new gels. They're Chef Master. And I used a leaf green and I think it's a sap green, avocado. And then I also mixed that with a little bit of purple to not make it so vibrant. Okay, it's looking so good right now. You can totally leave it this way if you want, but I want to be a little extra and I want to add my flowers. So we got some of our dandelions, which I think I'm going to add more towards the bottom. And we have our leaves and our flowers. So I think I'm actually going to give the creeper a poppy somewhere over here. Maybe they'll be on the side. I think I'll put them on the side of the cake, but the green, so we'll put our little leaves like this guy on the top. And if I'm correct, I think you just clip it like that. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. All right, so we're gonna just add our extra greenery. And this is a good time to cover any flaws that you might have had. I cannot believe my vision has been brought to life, and this actually came out way better than I ever could have imagined. I want to say this is like top 3 cakes that I've ever made in my entire life. I don't know, I just love it so much. It's the perfect combination of nostalgia mixed with sophistication and being an adult and flourishing, and it just reminds me of springtime. Oh, it's the perfect cake for spring. Honestly, this is how a creeper was meant to look. Flourishing with flowers and grass, and on the inside, just full of confetti. ready to explode. Well, let me know what you all think. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video if you think I executed this pretty well. I will say that this was a fairly easy cake to make. It just was a little bit time consuming with all the piping. Definitely a workout for my hands. But if you do it throughout the course of a few days where you make the cake, you make the decorations, and then you just assemble it, I think it's definitely doable. Now you know we gotta taste test it. Just plopped right off. That's delightful. I'm gonna eat this whole thing because I deserve it. Let me know if you decide to make this cake. Tag me on Instagram or Twitter. I'd love to see it. And if you want to check out more Quake and Bake episodes, click on this video right here. But I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and happy Creeper Spring. Oh man.